Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Well, in our ongoing series about you, the lawful and responsible gun owner, and the rare breed trigger, we are going to do a video today based upon some experiences that I've had working with some of you lawful and responsible gun owners around the country. As we know, the ATF now is actively going door to door with people who have actually purchased these items, whether they purchased them directly from Rare Breed or from gun broker or other retail operations. The ATF is hot on many of your trails. Yes, they are likely to end up paying you a visit. Now, we've done a couple of videos already about how to handle when the ATF gets there and what you should be doing. But today we're going to give you some very, very specific instructions. We're actually going to show you an example of something that we've done. So today, let's spend a few minutes and talk about what is the best way to destroy your rare breed trigger. Okay, before we get going down the road we're going down, proud to announce that this video is being sponsored by Legal Heat. That's right, the nation's largest educator of concealed classes nationwide. Legal Heat has taught over 200,000 lawful and responsible gun owners nationwide since they began in 2005. In Washington State alone, they've taught over 4,000 people. For my Washington viewers, you can go ahead and find a class at any one of these locations. If you're watching somewhere else in the country, visit them at mylegalheat.com. That's mylegalheat.com. You will find a class very close to your backyard. Now listen, if you find a class and you're interested in taking it, go ahead and sign up and use the promo code Washington Gun Law. That is Washington Gun Law, all one word, and you will receive 10% off. For more information, visit them at mylegalheat.com. Okay, so the issue we're talking about yet again today is the rare breed forced reset trigger and the scavenger hunt that the ATF is currently undertaking around the country to find all of the lawful and responsible gun owners who purchased one of these otherwise lawful devices but has since been deemed an unlawful machine gun. Now, we've already done a couple videos. We did this one right here about what to do in general if ATF agents show up in your house. And then we've done a couple more videos, this one and this one here, which are more directly related to the rare breed trigger situation. Now, for those of you who've been geeking out on this channel for a while, you know what we've been advising people to do prior to ATF's arrival is to remove the trigger from the firearm, to document the removal of the trigger, to document then the destruction of that trigger. And in a perfect world, you would take all of that photographic and video documentation, forward it to your attorney, and allow your attorney then to disseminate that to ATF in the event that they show up. Now, I know some of you are going to be freaking out right here and crying that this is complete tyranny and I should not have to destroy any property whatsoever. And while I certainly understand your sentiments, let us again refresh your memory that the purpose of Washington gun law is to tell you what the law is, how the law is currently being enforced, and what the risks are for you choosing to not comply with the law. I'm currently working with a young man. I will not mention what state he is in, and we're going to call him, for the purposes of this video, Jordan. Jordan, like many other lawful and responsible gun owners, went out and purchased a Rare Breed FRT trigger from another dealer on Gun Broker in late 2020. In early 2021, he began to realize that there were some ongoing issues with this, and he never ultimately ended up really installing the trigger in any firearm. He still had it. He contacted me, and I specifically asked him, I want photo documentation of the trigger's existence, and I want documentation of the trigger's destruction. And I want to show you what Jordan has done, because I think that this is a really good and applicable way that for many of you who want to get out in front of this, for many of you who may want to rid yourself of this now contraband, this may be the way to do it. Now, initially, I asked Jordan to send me photographs of the trigger's existence. He sent me these photographs right here, which we can clearly see is in fact a Rare Breed forced reset trigger. I then asked him to videotape the destruction of the trigger, and this is what I got. And then in addition to that, he sent me a second video actually showing that the trigger component itself was also destroyed right here. And now all of that video evidence has been securely stored. I will be sending him a letter, which he will keep with him, that in the event that ATF does show up at his home and want to talk to him about this trigger, that letter will direct them to contact me immediately, and I will then disseminate the correct information to the ATF with the promise that that ends the investigation on Jordan. I think that this is something that many of you should think about doing in preparation. We can always hope for the best, but we have to prepare for the worst. The worst is yes, the ATF is going to be coming to your door. Now, if you take a look at the open letter that they've been leaving with folks, this letter right here, we know that they are still putting the onus on the manufacturer. All of the blame is being placed on Rare Breed right now. And what ATF is basically saying is hey, they sold you contraband. You need to give it back to us. And by the way, if you try to register it through the ATF with a Form 1 or a Form 4, since it was contraband, we're not going to give you a tax stamp on it. So you might as well give it to us, because if you refuse to do so, then they may pursue a much more thorough investigation. And yes, there are likely criminal charges. Now, do you want to assume that risk? That's your life. You get to decide whether or not you want to assume that risk. My advice as an attorney is you always want to get out in front of these things. You always want to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. For that reason, I am recommending that you remove these triggers from your firearms. You document the removal of the trigger. You document the existence of the trigger. And most importantly, you document the destruction of that trigger. Do you need to saw it in half like was done here? No, you could probably take a sledgehammer to it and also render that trigger inoperable. Then, after you have obtained all of that digital information, contact counsel, have them securely store it for you, and have them serve as the communicative liaison between you and the ATF. You do not want to be talking to ATF. This is the very law enforcement agency that is claiming that you've committed a crime. Why would you want to sit down and have a discussion with them? If you are interested in pursuing a relationship with Washington Gun Law, we can certainly help you. Feel free to contact us. Listen, I know you're going to have a lot more questions about this FRT issue, and if you do, don't ever hesitate to contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.